Okay, we have an Airbox loop by Coober, and what it does is it just opens up airflow so you get more power. We're going to take off the seat of the bike and undo a few bolts and put it on.
Got that right there? Yep. I'll pull off the actual lid. That should be it. Yay. Good job. I'll put the new one back on. Nothing on there, right? Nope. Throw it on. Got a green filter. It's weird.
Go this way?
Other way. Wait, yeah, no, you're right, you're right, you're right. Make sure the foam goes in there. All the foam in there. Looks good. Put the bolt on. No, that's the old one. It's garbage. Pretty easy. All done. Let's do a sound test. See if it sounds any different. Neutral. It's in neutral. You can actually hear it a little bit. The bike's just so loud, you can't really tell the difference.
Is it that little, like, end? Or
Yeah, it's a little line. Actually riding it, you'll probably be able to hear it. And it slides in these tabs. And then also has tabs in the back. You gotta put it down. Good enough.
Huh?
Good enough.
Thanks for watching.
Alright guys, well, as you can see here, we got a new piece for the Vitpilen to install. It's a PowerTronic ECU, and there's two different ECUs that you can get. There's the PowerTronic, which is this one obviously, and then there's also a Coober ECU. The difference is the PowerTronic is more tunable. You can upload different maps, and you can also dyno tune it with this little port right here. So yeah, overall it's cheaper and more customizable, so it's a bit more sought after in my opinion. So all that it comes with in the box is the ECU, or the piggyback ECU itself. This is a stock map runner and also like a check system, and then the cable to connect to your computer, and then the harness itself and some stickers. But yeah, all of it's labeled. There's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to plug in, so it should be pretty simple. We'll go ahead and run through it and then show where these go and see how well it works. Should be pretty straightforward, but let's go ahead and do this for the Vitpilen 401. Okay, well now that it's in the garage, I'm going to get to work. I want to route this as clean as possible without having like wires scattered around. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the seat. We got the Airbox lid mounted in there. So I think I'm gonna route the wires through here and then come down under the fairings and then pop out right here to get to all of this stuff. Overall, it's gonna be a tight squeeze, but I think we'll make it work. So I think the ECU is gonna sit here and the rest is just gonna come through there like I said. So let's go ahead and try to get the wires snake through there. All right, now to get access to everything, just to see a little bit better, I'm gonna go ahead and take off these side fairings. Now it's really easy. It's just these two bolts here and here, then one right there, and then one right here. And then you just kind of got to give it a good tug, and it pops right out and slides out from there. Just has that nub right there that sticks in. So with these two removed, we can see stuff a little better and get to routing the wires. Okay, now while on the right hand side of the bike, you can see this plate here, which has this rubber hose. It doesn't really have that much of a gap to fit the wiring harness through. I think I'm gonna route this taillight wiring through there, just because it'll make it a lot cleaner. But on the other side, on the left hand side of the bike, you can see this plate, and it has the stock wiring harness running through this section, and it looks like there's a little bit more room on this side. So we're gonna go ahead, take this plate off, and then put the wires behind this, just because I want it as clean as possible, like I said. So I'm gonna take off this bolt, these two, this one, and go ahead and pull this off and get the wires in there. Off. And we have access to routing the new wires. Okay, well I had the time lapse going, so it showed what I did here. I just placed the new wiring harness in this behind this tab, and then tucked it in here and had that all going up there. And I put the fairing up to see if I could manage to fit this without going in this small little gap here, just because I don't want to like have to all squeeze this all through here. It's pretty tight. So I think I'm gonna route it just over that and then tuck it in. I put the fairing up to see if it shows, and it doesn't. So yeah, let's go ahead and put all these pieces on. I'm gonna take this off because I believe the first piece is behind this. And yeah, start plugging stuff in. Okay, so after unbolting these two here and getting this out of the way, I already plugged in the two for the one labeled CKP. Those are pretty easy, self-explanatory, just plug them in, they go back up there. And then this one for the injector, after you move that out of the way, you can see right there that empty plug, right there, tip of my fingernail. This gray plug is there, and it's pretty hard to get to. I chewed it up trying to use the flathead, and I ended up just needing a pick. So if you have a pick, like a 90-degree one like that, it works great. You can get it off real quick. But if you don't, it's gonna take you a while with the flathead. So went ahead, popped in the new one, and then now I gotta plug this back into the injector. So I'll go ahead and do that. And after that, all we have is the TPS and the Spark 1. All right, now to catch up, I went ahead and did the TPS. Now, this is on the right-hand side of the bike, the only plug that is on the right-hand side of the bike. It's pretty easy to do. The one I had the most trouble with was the injector. But anyway, the plug, like the connector, it's on the back side. So you really want to get your finger just like that, click it, and then push the plug back with a screwdriver or something. Just get like a little bit of pry and just like push it back, it'll come right off. And then I have the stock one there and then the new one here plugged in. I routed it over the top right here, you can see the plug, and it comes all the way through there. You can see it on this side too. It comes over and just, or it's this one, it comes over and then shoots through. I just gotta tuck it all up in there and then zip tie this all down to the bar. But now the last one that we have is the Spark 1. So this is just gonna be super easy, super simple. Go right here, plug in. And this is for quick shifter. We don't have that yet. So this is gonna be tucked up here out of the way for now. And that's it. So let's go ahead and plug this in, get this all tucked up and see how it looks. Okay, well, we officially have everything wired up, ready to go. I routed the harness through here. I just zip tied it. This is the only zip tie I put on the whole bike, just to make sure it stays there, doesn't move around. I have the TPS going across, like I said, and then the spark, you can see it's tucked back in there. And then this is all back on, the injector's on. So yeah, we're good to go. So let's, I routed the quick shifter wire plug back to here. I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. I'd probably zip tie it together with that right there, so that way it's all tucked up. And then go ahead and mount the actual ECU in. First, I'm gonna do the check system with that little piece that it comes with. Make sure everything's all good to go. And yeah, that should be it. So let's go ahead and do a test. All right, so now I got a bunch of that KTM orange in here. The PowerTronic ECU is fully wired up, all routed, completely done. The map selector switch I tucked under the battery along with the excess ground wire because it's pretty long, and also the quick shifter. Those are all tucked down into there. And then the ground, I just went onto the ground on the battery. Now the ECU, I just have it sitting here. Under here is the stock harness. I kind of pushed that down to get this to fit. And then the wiring harness looms right here. The bike has these turn signals there, which is another video I made on installing those. But anyway, that's gonna go there, sit there, and we're good to go. All I gotta do is put this plate that I had right here back on and cut that zip tie, and then we'll do the test to make sure it runs completely fine, or do the check before we make sure it runs good, and then we'll run it and let the idle learn itself, and do the throttle adjustment and learning and all that, and get that all set up and good to go. So let's get to it. Okay, well, I have the stock PowerTronic setup on right now, and this puts it back to the stock ECU map. And I also have all the checks right here to check once I get the key clicked on and started up. And then as for the wiring harness, it comes through here. Put the plate back on, you can see it completely hidden until it peeks out right here, and then goes into the motor area and plugs into all the systems that it need to. So let's go ahead, turn the key on right here. See what happens, what lights we get. So the spark plug, or the spark system, has power. Go ahead and put it in neutral. Turn the kill switch on. See, now it has injector power. Okay, let's go ahead and start it. stock map setup. So you could, with the flash it's kind of hard to see, but the CKP light started lighting up while I revved it, and then the TPS I think is only going to light up when I really start getting on it. So because I wasn't really getting on the throttle, so the throttle position sensor isn't really going to be doing much. So let's go ahead, put on the new ECU, and then let that run itself and learn the idle and all that good stuff. Okay, after the test checked out okay, we have the PowerTronic back in. Now for the idle learning, it's supposed to idle for about 15 minutes. This bike doesn't have an exhaust, it's pretty loud. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the stock exhaust back on and let it idle for 15 minutes, just so it's not so loud. And also I'm gonna pull it out of the garage. So let's go ahead and do that, let the idle relearn, and then we'll do the throttle calibration. And then that should be it, it's done. Okay, now the stock exhaust is back on and it's ready for the idle relearn. And you're not supposed to touch the throttle at all while you do the idle test. As you can see, we have 2 lights here. I'm guessing that means it's good. So don't touch the throttle at all for 15 minutes, and then the idle should be set up and ready to go. So here we go. Okay guys, we got the ECU plugged into the computer, RTune loaded up. Now, you're going to want to hit receive here to get all the information from your map loaded onto the computer. You can see all the numbers. Now go ahead and hit connect right here. I already have it connected, so just go ahead and hit that button. And then to the configuration menu to go to the throttle position calibration, go ahead and hit configure. Click here and click on throttle position and then auto calibrate. Now go ahead, turn the key to on and your ignition to on, and just do 2 full cycles as it says. So 1, let go, 2, let go. And you can see the bar loads up. And now you can go ahead and check the dial, which here you can see that's full throttle. That's exactly what I want. And that's all. So go ahead, click OK, and then you're going to want to burn that after you go ahead and click your ignition off. Hit burn. So shut off the vehicle, proceed. That's what I just did. Proceed. And that's it. Burning did the ECU, and you're done. Good to go. Take your bike out. Go enjoy the more power that you have, and you have your throttle calibrated. You're good to go.